is going on, everybody? Whoa, my hair. Really crazy on this side. Whatever. What is going on, everyone? Phil here, and welcome to the Weekend Preview. Today is Sunday, July 30th, 2017. It's the end of July, folks, which means officially we're in the home stretch for the summer. All right? I realize, I've been saying this, for weeks, and I realize that the summertime is a time when there's pretty much no new releases whatsoever for video games, all right? Few and far between have there been any new releases this summer. I've been trying to keep you occupied with running series like Red Dead Redemption and its expansion Undead Nightmare, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, Crash Bandicoot 1 and 3 playthroughs. And I know that for some of you, this time of the year is like, oh, I hate this. I wish there were new games and stuff going on. I get it, all right? The good news is, after all that stuff, starting this week, we're starting up with brand new events, new games on a weekly basis, and a lot of fun stuff coming up. I think that for those of you who maybe took the summer off and were away, maybe now would be time to come back and check out the stuff going on my channels and on my Twitch streaming page, because there is quite a lot that's about to start right away tomorrow, okay? So, let's talk about a bunch of things. First of all, one thing I absolutely have to talk about before we get started today, Patreon. Why? Because today's the 30th of July. If you want to get in on July's Patreon perks and Patreon monthly event, you have to pledge by midnight tomorrow, all right? If you do not pledge by the end of July, Pacific time, it will not count for the month of July. It'll be pushed to the month of August, and you'll have to wait until, early September in order to hear from me and get all your perks and everything, okay? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I have tremendously good news to announce right here on the Weekend Preview regarding July's Patreon. We were behind for quite some time. For weeks, we've been, $200, then $100, $125 behind, and it fluctuated up and down because some people would pledge, but then some people would lower their pledges for the month, and it would basically go like this, okay? It was very hard to keep track of every day. Were we at the goal? Were we not at the goal? How much below the goal were we? If you're not aware, the monthly goal this month for July, if we hit it, was that I'm going to do a Patron's Choice playthrough during the fall months, during those times that all those new games are coming out. The times between then when there's a little bit of free time here and there, if there's a day or two where there's nothing going on, it would be time for me to do this Patron's Choice playthrough. And I put my foot down this time and I said, sorry, but every Patron's Choice playthrough up to this time has been a JRPG, a Japanese-centric game, a visual novel, a game that's 1 million hours long, and basically the amazing feedback, the amazing, overwhelmingly amount of feedback that I was getting from my viewers was, Phil, we get that it's Patron's Choice, but for 2.5 years you've been playing the same kind of game every time you do Patron's Choice. You got to do something for variety's sake, because we're tired of you taking up half your time playing these long, drawn-out games that basically people aren't really interested in watching. So, hearing all this feedback, the fact that I'm currently playing Danganronpa 2 and it's taking me months to beat the game, listening to all your feedback, I put down the limitation this month that whatever game gets nominated and voted for Patron's Choice cannot be a JRPG, not a visual novel, not a long, drawn-out Japanese-centric style game like those. It has to be action-oriented, maybe something completely different. As long as it's outside and different from the niche or niche genres that have been selected for Patron's Choice before, it would be acceptable, all right? But we were behind on this goal all month. The good news, folks, tonight, 2 people stepped up to the plate tonight and pledged pretty chunky, hefty amounts to my Patreon. We went over the goal. In fact, I believe it was up to $1,174 out of $1,125, so we exceeded it by like $50. But then those people went and immediately lowered their pledges again because they didn't want to be recharged for that tomorrow night. So the good news is we did hit and exceed the goal, but we're not out of the woods yet. There's a very small chance, very small, that a ton of people who have their pledges set up right now will not have their pledges go through, and therefore, if I get like hundreds of dollars worth of declined pledges, then we're going to be in trouble. Now, even if that happens, the good news is they still have a chance to update their information and have their pledges go through and count for July. So even worst case scenario, if that happens tomorrow night, we still have a chance that we're going to do the monthly goal. But the good news is because of the 2 people who pledged today, the big amounts, we're very much in a strong position to be hitting the goal and doing that event for the month of July. All right? So, that being said, obviously, I'm pleased. I want to do these patron goals events. I build them into my schedule. Like I said, this would be perfect to have, over the months of maybe late September, October, November, to have a particular game that I'm playing in the holes between the new releases would be great. So I plan it out, and if we didn't hit the goal, it would have been like, oh man, that's disheartening. But looks like we're gonna do it. That's positive news. I will have more definitive news for you later this week. Obviously, after tomorrow night, once the pledges go through, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, I should have a better idea if I can definitely say, yes, we did it. And by the way, if you did pledge to my Patreon in July, I'll be messaging you 1 week from tonight on patreon.com, okay, over there on that website. I'll be sending you private messages explaining if I need your information to upgrade your forum account so you can start nominating and voting on games, or any other perks that you may have earned with your pledges. I'll be messaging you on patreon.com about that 1 week from tonight, okay? And of course, maybe you were on the fence about pledging this month because you were like, well, I'd really like to pledge $5 and get in on this Patron's Choice event, but it doesn't look like he's going to hit it, and it would be basically, throwing my money away, so I'm not going to do it. It looks like we're going to do it. So if anyone was withholding because you were apprehensive, and let me tell you, just to give you some perspective here, this week, as I'm about to talk about in this week's schedule, I'm playing Sonic Adventure 1, okay? It's Sonic Gotta Go Fast summer event starting this week. Only 30 people voted. I take that back. I think at this point it was like 34 or something like that. Voted on that poll. Now, I have over 80 people who are patrons who are qualified of the level to vote on these events. Only like 20 to 30 people usually do. It's much like the American voting system for our own government. A lot of people have the power to vote, and almost no one does. So, if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon for any of these Patron's Choice events, you get a tremendous amount of power. I mean, 1 in 20, 1 in 30 power is huge. For me to do a full playthrough of a game that thousands of people are going to be watching on stream and on YouTube, that's tremendous power, okay? So, if you were on the fence about pledging, you've got 24 hours left, roughly, from when I make this video to still pledge to my Patreon and get in on July's event, all right? All right, all done with that now. Now let's talk about this week, because this week there's 2 patron reward events going on starting tomorrow, okay? First off, today, if you're not aware, I played 4 hours of Danganronpa 2, knowing full well that I was going to be very busy this week with these other patron events and new releases and stuff. I decided to go all out, and this last week I played over 10 plus hours of Danganronpa 2, and all those videos are live on DSP Gaming and added to playlist. You can check those out at your leisure. Good stuff, and I will be continuing that playthrough in roughly another week once I get through all this week's events, okay? Also, tonight I'll be uploading some more Ultra Street Fighter 2 online matches from the 2 sets. I did 2 sets of this game this past week. This one is from the set that I did, I believe, Thursday night. And then I'll actually have more videos saved up that maybe later this week I'll be uploading to DSP Gaming. But those will be going live on DSP Gaming tonight. Check them out, especially if you want to see the game I'm actually fucking good at. The Street Fighter game, I actually have knowledge of every character, and I do really well at when I play it. That's what you want to check out tonight, okay? Tomorrow, the first patron event of this week, the Indies Marathon. So I haven't done an Indies Marathon in quite some time, all right? It's been a while since I did one of these. But they always seem to be events people enjoy. I play a wide variety of games every single time I do one. Well, tomorrow, I was going to say this week, tomorrow, starting around 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, like usual, my stream will start. I'll do a little intro. And then around 1 p.m., we're going to begin with 4 indie games. 4 games. What games won the polls? First of all, shout out to the patrons who did vote on those polls. I appreciate it. Number 1 game, Night in the Woods. Number 2, Shadow Complex Remastered. Number 3, Broforce. And number 4, Terraria. For the first time ever, since I've been doing these Indies Marathons, 2.5 years I've been doing them. For the first time ever, all 4 games are available on PlayStation 4. As I'm recording this video, I'm downloading them to my PS4 right now. So I gotta say thank you everyone who nominated, who voted. The results are in. Thank you for that. These games should be great. I'm looking forward to them. The only game there that I know anything about is Shadow Complex Remastered, and the only reason I know about that, because I played it before. I played the original Shadow Complex way back when it was a new release on the Xbox Live Arcade on Xbox 360, but I only played like 1 session of it, and for whatever reason, I just never got back to it. So to go back to it and re-experience it on a modern console would be pretty cool. Night in the Woods, I have no idea what it is. Broforce, I believe, is supposed to be like a shooter, I think, but I'm not sure. And Terraria, I've heard, is a combination of like a 2D platformer with Minecraft, so it's going to be a wide variety of stuff. Now, you might say, well, what games are you going to play first or whatever? Undetermined. What I may do is tomorrow when I start the stream, right, to ask stream chat, what do you want to see first? And just go play it play it from the hip, you know, see what people want, go in the order that people are requesting on the stream, okay? Now, if any of these games end up being really interesting to me, they may become full playthroughs. This happened before where I play a game like this in a marathon, and I like it so much that I decide to go back and do a full playthrough. And the truth is, I may have some time coming up in this second week of August where I may have some time to actually re-explore some of these games if people like them, all right? Or if I like them, either or. Okay, so now let's talk about the rest of the week. Tomorrow will be this marathon, and yes, all those videos will be recorded and uploaded to DSP Gaming. And by the way, I've decided that whole marathon, I'm going to record 720p, 60 frames per second. Why? Because it's very simple. If I do that, I'll capture the full frame rate of the games. More than likely, a lot of these games, like for example Terraria, probably run at 60 frames because it's just like 8-bit graphics. But also, that way, if I do it like that, you don't need massive visual quality for indie games. Indie games aren't giving you groundbreaking 3D visuals that you need 1080p full quality. It's not a big deal to record them in 720p. And that way, guess what? They're all on PS4. They're all the same resolution. I don't have to stop the stream and restart the stream or configure the stream. It's literally, okay, let's take a break. I'll come right back, and then we'll do the next game. And that's how it's going to be. Boom, boom, boom. 4 games tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay? All right, I hope I'll see you tomorrow on Twitch for that marathon. If you can't be there live, I hope that obviously you'll join me on DSP Gaming for those videos after the marathon ends as I upload them, okay? All right. Tuesday, another patron event. I know, what the hell, back-to-back. On Tuesday, I'm starting the Gotta Go Fast Summer Playthrough. This was a patron event where patrons voted on 3 Sonic the Hedgehog games. It was Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, and Shadow the Hedgehog. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Sonic Adventure 1 has won the poll, which means I'll be playing the redone version that I believe actually released on the Xbox 360 years ago. So I'll hook that sucker up, I'll download it, and that's what I'll be playing come Tuesday. Now, Tuesday I'm going to do 2 streams of it, 2 sessions, okay? On Wednesday is the release of another new game. It's called Tacoma. This is a kind of exploration game where you're trying to figure out, you're on a space station, and I guess the graphics are really artistic, and you're trying to figure out what happened to everyone on the space station, because I guess they all vanished or whatever. Was there an accident, or did they evacuate? And you're gathering clues, and there's a mystery element to it. Kind of a unique game, different, definitely a game that's like a summer indie vibe game. So I'll be doing that first stream on Wednesday, and then Wednesday night, more Sonic, okay? And then we're going to see, you know, I don't know how long Tacoma is. I don't know how long it's going to take me to beat Sonic Adventure. If I remember correctly, Sonic Adventure is at least 10 hours, if not like 12 to 15 hours. But it's been a while. I played that game like 3 or 4 times back in the day on the Dreamcast. It was one of the best Dreamcast games back in the day, but I haven't played it in quite a long time. So I'll be balancing that with Tacoma pretty much all week long, all right? Now, later in the week, as the games start to wrap up, I may return to Danganronpa 2 for a session. I may squeeze in a fighting game session of like Ultra Street Fighter 2 or something like that. But primarily the focus you're going to see this week, Indies Marathon, Sonic Adventure 1, Tacoma, and then whatever I can squeeze in along all that stuff. Okay, fair enough? Next week, there is a new release. It's Batman the Telltale Series Season 2. I will be playing that, but outside of that, there's no new releases. So that's what I mean when I'm saying these games that I'm playing tomorrow, indie games, there's potential that if one of these is very popular or people like it and they want to see me continue it, I could continue it during that week. Once I wrap up with Sonic and Tacoma, it'll be very easy for me to slide in another playthrough before new releases start. When do the major releases start in August? They actually start August 15th, ladies and gents. So August 15th, big stuff. We've got Agents of Mayhem, the next game from the people who made the Saints Row series. We've got Sonic Mania coming out that day. The next week, we've got the Uncharted standalone expansion that I can't wait to play. There's also the Call of Duty World War II beta that week, and there's also strong rumors that a few episodic games may be releasing this month, like Guardians of the Galaxy or The Walking Dead and stuff like that. And then the end of the month, we've got Life is Strange, the second season or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I forget what the official name of it is. I think it was Before the Storm or something like that. Mario Cross Rabbids, all right? We've got a lot of new releases coming out in August that are going to get us hyped and pumped and ready for this hardcore gaming season coming up. Finally, the new releases will be hitting, and earlier than usual, because typically these new releases don't even come out till late August, but they're coming out earlier this year, which is a good thing in my opinion, okay? That's really it. I don't have a ton to talk about anymore on this pre-stream. Oh, in fact, Night in the Woods just finished installing. Now all 4 games for tomorrow are installed, ready to go on my PS4, so I'm pumped. I'm excited for tomorrow. I hope you guys are too. That's really it. I do want to say thank you to everyone who during this summer kind of more dead time was sticking around and watching stuff. I appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone who was a patron, who participated in the nomination and the voting or anything and all these events that have happened, and especially July patrons now, who now it looks like we're going to be doing the July event. Things are very positive right now. I can't be negative. I'm very pumped for all the new stuff this week in particular. I'm like energized because finally, even though I was doing fun stuff during July, I understand that's considered more downtime stuff. Now we're going to have all these events and things going on. I think people are going to be re-energized, coming back to the streams, getting excited again, new releases. They get pumped for all that stuff, right? I'm pumped for it, and I hope that you are too. So there you have it. Thank you, everyone. It's time, for the last time, to thank those who pledged to my Patreon last month and allowed this upcoming Sonic Gotta Go Fast Sonic Adventure 1 playthrough to happen. Thanks to all of you. Here comes your patron call. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow for the Indies Marathon.